today we are back again with This Is More Than Hoops, and we have a very special guest today. My name is Jordan Gainey.
Cade Phillips.
Jemai Mayshak.
And we're here with
Danny White.
Nice.
And this is, Mr. Danny White, we want to say thank you so much for, fitting us into your busy schedule.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of things going on today.
He might be the second busiest guy we've had here because we had Sakai here last time.
We did.
Sakai's all over.
Second busiest.
Yeah.
Second busiest.
Yeah,
I appreciate y'all fitting me in.
No problem, man. No problem.
It's awesome. But, today we start off every podcast with, the floor is yours. Let the people know who you are that don't already know who you are, and just tell them some things that they don't know about you.
I don't know if there's much that they don't know about me. I'm the director of athletics here at Tennessee, working every day to support our 20 sports, try to compete for SEC and national championships. We got a lot of positive momentum going on, big time stuff happening last night in men's basketball. Tomorrow night in women's basketball, we got a big game. Big game this weekend. You guys going to put a show on for us?
No doubt.
In the Food City Center. We're doing a lot of positive stuff. Excited about the student athletes, the coaches I get to work with here, and building the best athletic department in the country. And we're serious about that. We're having a lot of fun supporting each other in the process of doing it, but having a lot of success along the way.
That's awesome. We heard that back in the day you used to be an athlete back in the day and play a little bit of basketball.
A little bit.
And just tell us a little bit how it's different from whenever you played and now.
My knees were more functional back then than they are right now. I've been relegated to the treadmill at this point. But a lot of the things are still the same. I enjoy watching you guys interact, especially off the court. I miss those times with my teammates, and I coached for a couple of years and kind of stayed close to the game for a little bit before I got into the administrative side. And my favorite thing of my job is to be around a team after they accomplish something that they worked so hard for. Seeing a conference championship, a big win, whether it's on the court, and that could be the tennis court, the basketball court, in the locker room, on the field. It's just awesome, and I just like to sit back and watch y'all celebrate, and because I know the grind that y'all have to put into it, because I did it. I actually destroyed my body doing it. But it sets you up, and I talk about this a lot. It sets you up for success in life. The physical pain you go through, but the work ethic and how hard you have to push yourself helps you have success in your career.
Builds habits. Habits. That's definitely one thing that I've noticed. Just with playing and the 4 years being here, it definitely helps you out with other aspects in life. It's like, oh, wow, well, this is how I'm supposed to go about this way, just from the training, every day, schedule. I think it builds habits and stuff, so that's true.
You said you started off playing basketball. You got into coaching a little bit. What was that always the dream job, was getting to athletic director? What was the dream job as a kid? Where did you see yourself, and is that here?
I thought I'd be a professional basketball player until I learned that I wasn't very good at basketball. I spent 4 years in a training room. That was my college career. I was, people compare themselves to professional players. They'll say, it's like a poor man's LeBron James. It's a poor man's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I was like a homeless guy's Jemai Mayshak. I could defend. They tell me to go defend, but that's about all I could do because my knees were shot. So I once I kind of realized the dream was over and had to grow up. I had grown up around college sports. My parents were track coaches. My dad was an AD for a long time. I literally, as a 10-year-old, was sneaking into the gym on college campuses, riding my bike around. I was always around college sports. So I just couldn't imagine ever getting away from it. So I went to grad school at Ohio University, where I was able to coach on the staff for a couple of years while doing some sports administration and business administration, master's work. So I was able to kind of have my foot on both sides of the fence, and going through that, I felt like administration and revenue generation fit more my skill set, and felt like I could have more success with it.
So looking back to your years of being AD, what has been some of the most memorable experiences that you can remember?
I'd say all those championships, and building buildings is fun, and we have a about $1 billion of capital projects happening all around us. There's cranes that you guys are seeing.
Everywhere.
It's fun. Sometimes in my career stops, I didn't get to see the building get finished. So going back and seeing it is fun. But here I plan on seeing all this stuff get finished.
That's funny
that-
because I'm going through the same thing.
What are you going
I'm
through?
like, so like with one with the building, I forgot where it was, but just seeing how it's like being processed right now, I'm like, dang, I'm not gonna see that when I'm here. And then inside the stadium, that's gonna be
the jumbo,
bro.
yeah.
Bro, I'm like, dang, literally the year after I'm gonna be gone, that means they're gonna introduce, and I'm like, well, I guess, just got to get over it, I guess. But nah, it is going to be fun coming back and seeing just how everything is kind of got to the level it is, and just how it's improving. I think that's really cool, just being able to see it. Maybe Cade will.
Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here to see him. I'll be here
Cade
to see
will be able
him.
to
Y'all can
enjoy
come
it.
back and visit.
All right, I
See the
appreciate
new
that.
River Club.
I know. I'll get to see all that.
Be looking up at yourself with a new video board next year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dang.
Y'all can sit behind the bench.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Y'all can see it from.
We'll
I'll be
support.
cheering. I'll be cheering.
Wherever
I
our
can see
UT
it.
gear
Going
on.
for a T-shirt.
Or Cade Dunk,
Yeah, for real.
One of them.
Oh, that's
One
a
of them.
sensitive subject right now.
We won't talk about it, Cade.
Yeah, that's
What's
okay.
the sore subject?
So
Hey,
yeah,
I was there too, though.
I had a
Cade.
fast. I had a fast break last night and missed it. We won.
We won the
won.
game.
When
Put
I
it-
you say that, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and
Put it-
I don't know if y'all remember. Z got an N1, so threes beat twos.
Yeah.
So that was
And-
the mindset.
to put it in
That was
context,
the strategy.
That was the strategy. It was.
Put it in context. You stole my fast break. He came out of nowhere. I've never seen K run this fast ever. Z got the steal. I thought I had a easy dunk. He came out of nowhere and he was like, "Oh, okay, you got it, man."
I also thought Shaq was defending me. I heard footsteps, and it was actually Shaq.
Don't most people think Shaq's defending him?
That is true. Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know his instincts were going to kick in. He was going to glass me or what. But yeah.
And the
So
funny thing is, whenever that happened, the 3-point play happened, Cade literally runs and helps up Z and says, "Three's better than two."
I did. I literally
better
said
than
it in a huddle. I was like, "Threes are better than twos." Shaq's telling me to lock in. I'm like, "We got more."
Yeah, me not lying. Threes is better than two.
So your brother is a coach in the SEC as well. How is that, like, just being behind the scenes with all that?
It's cool when we're not playing them.
Yeah,
It was fun for me to watch them beat the Gators last night before our game.
yeah.
Good win for them, and I think they may help us with seeding. We'll see how it all plays out. But both my brothers are in college sports. My brother's the athletic director at Florida Atlantic, and then Brian, and my brother Mike's the head men's basketball coach at Georgia. So yeah, none of us were smart enough to do anything different than work in college sports. We love the competition, but we support each other. The most awkward time on our family text is when we're playing each other.
I bet.
It's the only time it goes quiet. People aren't talking trash to each other.
I can, have the same feelings with that because my dad's a coach as well. And my freshman year, we played you guys. That was the only time, like, I didn't talk to my dad before the game, after the game. It was like just complete silence. We had the whole entire family at the game, had the split jerseys with Upstate on it and Tennessee on it. But, it's always like straight competitiveness in the family, but it's always great.
That game was so fun. When I say we were in the locker room and your name popped up on the scouting report, and we were like, all right, bro, we got to hold him to 0. Like, we have to, bro, we don't care about nobody else on the team, bro. We have to make sure his night is miserable because we were trying to get on, the coach.
Did they do
and
that?
stuff.
Yeah, it was miserable. Miserable for sure. Miserable for sure. Finished the game with 2 points. Yeah, it was a tough game. Very tough game.
To his credit, though, he was the only guy we were really, like, focusing on. We wanted to make a point, but, we knew he was good.
That's what. Growing up around sports, I kind of grew up around sports with my family and like how competitive the family can be. Give us a little insight on growing up, having brothers in sports, dad in sports, mom in sports. Give us a kind of insight into how competitive growing up was and just, you said riding bikes, sneaking into gyms. Like, give us a little insight into that.
Yeah, we were obsessed with basketball. That was kind of my sisters both swam. We had two sisters. they were swimmers, but all 3 boys, it was all ball all the time. So campus security hated us. We'd sneak into the gym, they'd come kick us out, and then we'd sneak in the gym again. That was like nonstop. We had very little social life. When we get in trouble, it's because the neighbors would call the cops because we're playing basketball in the driveway till 2 a.m. It was just all ball. People, other kids come over to our house. We always had a driveway goal, and we probably had way too much access to like what you guys see around here in this facility, like the strength coaches and the things that you're probably not supposed to be doing until you're a college level athlete.
Yeah.
We're like 14 doing plyometrics and stuff.
Oh man, no, that, and I actually, along those lines and talking about competitiveness, there'll be times where I'm watching the game and I see you there. Because I've always thought about this in my mind. How do you balance, really wanting to like cheer and like, go out and be competitive and like, talk and stuff like that, and then still be like professional and like, make sure that, all right, let me calm down, because knowing me, I couldn't do that. I'm always hyped up and amped up, especially in games. But how do you balance that?
It can be challenging, especially like the fans sometimes want to react to a call that they might disagree with. In my position, I probably shouldn't be screaming at officials.
Right.
So I'd like to think I don't do that, but
No,
sometimes
never.
do I react? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the competition of the game, especially towards the end. I mean, I know Coach Barnes got it on lock, so I'm not that stressed until maybe the last little bit. If you guys hadn't taken care of business,
Right.
you don't have to short up the last few minutes.
Right.
I might tighten up a little bit, but I'm also thinking about like the first 10 minutes of the game. How are we doing with ingress? Getting people in the parking lots.
Yeah,
Our fans having to sit in long lines. What's our lines looking like in the concession stands? The fan experience, our game day production, all that. We have people way smarter than me to handle all that, but I'm that's definitely on my mind. Making sure everything's going well.
Yeah, that's wild how you like really stuff that we don't even think about, like
Not at all.
at all. We just worry about playing, but that is the cool thing though. Like
Your parents get stuck in that traffic.
Right. That is that's true.
How about we get into some rapid fire questions?
Let's do it.
So the first one, pizza or wings?
Ooh,
I gotta go pizza. Huge pizza guy.
I'm huge pizza
I
guy.
knew you were gonna say pizza.
Huge. I mean, you guys all, if you watch the podcast,
Insert the clip.
Yeah.
Insert the clip. Millions of clips of me eating pizza. I'm a pizza guy for sure.
I'm wings, 100%.
Yeah, I
Wings,
may
no
have to
doubt.
go. May have to go wings too.
Wow,
Yeah,
really. So what makes wings
Split
better
decision.
than pizza to you?
you get to dip it in the ranch.
That's true. You can dip pizza in ranch.
You forget how
can.
much he loves
I
ranch,
love ranch
though.
though. I love
ranch. I
I
love
put ranch
too.
on everything. I'll put ranch on the pizza.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You
but
can do-
like pizza
different.
can become basic at times,
I agree.
and there's only certain kinds that really stand out.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But after the wings, don't you feel like you need a slice of pizza?
Hey,
That is a good point.
that's a
That is
great
good
point.
That's
a
good
great point. I definitely feel that way.
Yeah.
But I never, after I eat pizza, I never feel like I need wings.
Another good point.
I'm sticking with wings.
Yeah, I'm still
Nah,
gonna stick with
wings.
wings though. I'm still gonna stick with wings. What's the best ice cream flavor?
Rocky Road. That's the easiest question of all time.
It's a tie between cookies and cream and strawberry.
Cookies and cream.
Not an ice cream guy. I don't work out like y'all.
That's fine.
Can't hang with that.
Okay. Favorite sports movie?
Remember the Titans.
Blue chips.
Blue Chips.
Wait, have you seen Blue Chips?
I don't think I should.
Oh my gosh, now I gotta put you guys on, bro. It's Shaquille O'Neal's in the movie. Penny Hardaway's in the movie. Just look it
I
up
have
in
to
your
look
free
it,
time.
yeah.
It is a classic movie, Blue Chips.
I gotta go. It's hard to pick between Rudy and Hoosiers. Two classics. Watched them both for a long time.
I'm gonna have to go Like Mike or The Sandlot.
Sandlot.
Sandlot's a good
Sandlot
one.
is a good
Sleeper.
one.
Yeah.
Sandlot. Ooh.
Best actor or actress?
Denzel.
I was about to say.
Denzel.
I gotta go
Denzel.
Denzel.
Good
I
one.
just said remember the
Denzel.
Titans. I gotta go Denzel.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit with Denzel or Leonardo DiCaprio.
I'm going Kevin Hart.
Oh,
I'm watching
that's a
something.
good one.
I need
That's
to
a
laugh.
good one. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
true.
That is true.
That's a
That's
funny
a good
movie
one.
on the planet.
True.
Man.
The last song you listened to?
We're
That's
just
true.
on the plane. Hold up.
I
gotta think.
Talking Tennessee, Morgan Wallen.
Was that really the last song you listened to?
Yes.
We're gonna fact check that. That's
Still
Talking
Make
Tennessee.
Cheyenne, George Strait. I know that's a throwback, but that was the last song I just listened to.
What was the last song I listened to? I think it was Kendrick.
That's what I guessed that.
It was Kendrick. Oh, actually, in the car I was listening to Anita Baker. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, Anita.
I listen to whatever comes on No Shoes Radio next.
Oh wow, so
Chesney.
you're a
Chesney.
radio
Chesney?
guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The beach or the lake?
The beach,
Gotta go beach.
but
Cali
Do I got a boat?
Yeah.
Lake.
Ooh.
Lake.
I love them both. Love the water, but I prefer the salt water.
Okay.
beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Christmas or Easter?
Christmas. Ooh, or Easter.
Or Easter.
Growing up playing basketball, like Christmas was not always. I don't know if y'all relate to this. Christmas was kind of like condensed, and so like
Yeah.
Easter was like my family's like holiday. So I got to go Easter.
I agree with that. Better chance of getting away for the weekend with my
Yes.
family. Not every year, but better chance of it happening.
Man, when I hear those jingle bells sound, boy.
Yeah.
I do love Christmas
Christmas.
movies, though.
It could be in October. That whole like season, I'm like, oh my gosh, Christmas is coming. I guess that's just how I was raised. Like Christmas started in like November for me, you know, stores and stuff. But yeah.
I gotta go Christmas as well.
So, being a Tennessee Vol, obviously I put in a lot of work. We put in a lot of work, and it's one of the top programs in the country. I'm biased, so I think it's the top program in the country. But tell us a little bit, in a day in a life for you. Like how does a normal day go out for you? What do you do? How you go about the day, like you were talking about with, the other segment. What do you think about that other people don't think about, but just a day in the life of, AD?
So in my role, I'm thinking about things maybe 3 to 5 years out. Whereas that's probably the biggest difference between an AD and a coach. Coaches are thinking about tomorrow's practice plan and this upcoming game or what does the roster look like next season, maybe in the off season. We started working on the construction you're seeing right now when I first got here 4 years ago. And we're working on stuff right now that you won't see for 3 or 4 years from the capital project side. But some of the other stuff is more real time in terms of revenue generation. Spend a lot of time talking with and working with our donors. We have great donors here, people that really care about this place. But it's my job to show them how they can help us and why it matters and what how their contributions can help us get to where we're trying to go and build a plan for that. So my days are different. That's the fun part. I could think I know what my schedule is the next day, but it could change real quick. It's exciting. It's fun to be a part of kind of the planning part of what the best athletic department in the country looks like, which is 100% right here in Knoxville.
Yeah,
No
so
doubt.
never gets stale. Never a dull day.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
There's been a lot of great athletes that have come through the University of Tennessee and a lot of ones that are really great leaders in their role. How do you identify someone as a leader in their specific sports group?
Yeah, I talked to our coaches about leaders on their teams, and I've never heard a coach complain about having too many leaders, right? I mean, and that's one of the beautiful things about sport is you learn how to push yourself. We talked about that, but you learn how to lead others, and we have a phenomenal leadership cohort here with Vol leaders. I get to spend some time with that group throughout the year. Our SAC leadership group, we had them over at the house for some barbecue 2 nights ago, which is fun to interact. I don't get to spend a ton of time with y'all. I'm not on the coaching staff. I try to let our coaches be coaches and let me do my job. But when I do, I do enjoy it, and that's a characteristic of successful teams. You have to have strong leadership. Every single coach I work with, that's top of mind.
You're talking about successful leadership goes into successful teams, but what makes from top to bottom the way kind of Tennessee is? What do you think goes into making this program as successful as possible? Whether it's coaching, people that are being recruited, all the way down to the staff. Whether it's it's just what goes into that.
I think we're in the process of putting all of the assets we have together in a way that folks can understand. And the biggest thing is college sports matters here more than anywhere else in America. And we have this isolated population of 1 million plus people. We have the biggest and best fan base in all of sport. We have a 102,000 seat stadium. When we first got here, the whole conversation was around how do we make the stadium smaller because we can't fill it up. And now we have 20,000 people on a waiting list, and it's sold out for the season. And we have one of, if not the largest on-campus arenas in the country. There's a couple that claim they're larger, but I've been in them. I think this one's bigger. And it's sold out for the season. That's what you guys got going on. Baseball, softball stadiums sold out for the season. It's not just one sport. It's all of our sports. Our fans care. It's the culture of this place. It doesn't matter if they went to school here. If they spent any part of their upbringing in the state of Tennessee, they bleed orange. Y'all know it. You see it. They're so passionate, and it gives us a really unique opportunity to do something big time here.
That is so crazy. When you look at each individual sport and just how successful it's been, it's kind of been surreal, especially for me, being a part of basketball. Growing up, I see, programs that have, really good at basketball, and then everything else is kind of, subpar, or really good at football, and that's the main thing. There really isn't a main thing for Tennessee. Every sport is good, and it's like year round how that goes about, how fans are able to be excited about, okay, we got, baseball season coming up, then we got football, and then we got basketball, and then in between there, you got softball, you got, tennis, you have swimming, and like you mentioned before, I was on Vol Leaders, and it was such a great experience, but it was even better just to see all the other athletes and how successful they were in their respective fields. And I think that's amazing, just how everybody kind of came in. We were coming to class with the same kind of mindset, like, oh, you won your game, you had a great meet, you PR'd in this. And it was like, dang, everybody's succeeding here. So it kind of, I think, like we talk about, iron sharpening iron. When you're seeing winners in, everywhere you go, it kind of rubs off, and those habits kick in. But yeah, it's crazy, man.
No question. Winning's contagious. We have it going on right now at a high level. And when Tennessee was the best version of itself prior to this era, winning was contagious, and we were good in everything. Right. And those former players, you mentioned high-profile former players. I get texts from former football players, former basketball players about women's tennis making the Final Four. Yeah. Former football players about what you guys are doing in basketball. Yeah. They're following it all, and they care.
That's crazy, man. Wow.
Since we are an everything school, our fans are really dedicated to athletics, and they've been wanting to move a little closer into the atmosphere of the game, and they've been wanting to move the student section to closer so we could feel them more, even though we already do. Yes. Is that a plan in the future?
We already did. Which is, I think somehow that got missed. Yeah. You guys know that. When I first got here, I was like, why do we have the student section in the corner? Yeah. We need them. We need more of them in the lower bowl. Right. So I think we doubled the amount of students we have in the lower bowl, and we put them in both end zones. Mm-hmm. And since that moment, I'm still getting nonstop mentions about moving the student section.
I guess that's one thing about having a dedicated fan base is they can never get enough. They can never get enough.
They do have a lot of ideas. Maybe I should have waited until they asked for it until we did that.
Right.
We did it proactively, and I think we kind of got penalized for it. So I wanted as many students as we can get as close to the court as possible. Right. And I wanted a home court advantage first half and second half. And let's get them in there. It'd be impossible for us, unless we build a new building, to give them a sideline because we have season ticket holders that have been there for 30 years. Yeah. And so but there's plenty of big time fan bases in like historic college basketball venues where that's their setup. Students are on both end zones, and you can create it. We already do. We have an awesome home court advantage. Yeah. It's loud as heck in there.
You might as well put them on the court now.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it was the Vanderbilt game. And we're on defense, I'm pretty sure it's like 10 minutes ago, and they're calling out ball screen coverages, but we can't hear anything from our big. And like,
can't hear nothing,
we're going in the wrong direction. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I can't hear. I can't hear the ball screen coverage. So we had to make an adjustment to the crowd to just guard our man normally instead of listening to the bigs.
Yeah. Some of those biggest moments, man. And that was one thing I was going to ask you guys. Since you've been here, what was probably the biggest game as far as crowd noise that you've been a part of? For me, it was when we played Arizona here,
I was at that game.
bro.
I was in that game as a recruit.
It was ridiculous. Like, and I was sitting there, I was on the bench, and I was just watching, and I forgot what happened. I don't know if Josiah got a dunk or something. Bro, the crowd, like, erupted, and I was, like, literally sitting there, like, in awe, like, oh, my gosh, what just happened? And then I think another one was the save on Florida.
Yeah.
And I was just, like, sitting there, and Kay was, like, in the air, you know, how he just be flying through the air and stuff like Michael Jordan. But he was in the air, and I was literally just, like, sitting there, like, dang, this is crazy, like, trying to take it all in. But, yeah, no, those are the two for me.
I think that Arizona game, was that 21?
Yes.
That was my
21,
first
freshman year.
big game here.
Yeah.
Because we had gone through, I got here that January 21, and we were at limited capacity because of COVID that spring. And I remember sitting, I've been in a ton of big time basketball environments at that point.
Yeah.
But I had not been in a big game here yet. And I was like, whoa.
That was the first one, right?
Yeah, it was.
That's
it was
crazy.
next level.
That's so funny because
Yeah.
I talked to GP about it, and I say me and him are in the same class because he came into Tennessee at the same time I did. But we're in the same class.
Yeah, we're in the same class.
In the same class. He
I was in
senior just
mid-year.
like me.
I was in mid-year.
Oh, he was a mid-year. He was a mid-year. He was a mid-year. But no, that's funny. That's funny.
I was at the Florida game too.
Florida.
And it was checkerboard.
Oh my
It was
gosh,
crazy.
yes.
It was
It was for me, man.
Dang, that was crazy. That was crazy.
I mean, yeah, that's mine. I mean,
Yeah.
that exact moment is the one I remember specifically, of just like the place erupting. But I mean, really every SEC game, specifically every SEC ranked game, is just electric. It's electric.
I think we get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy, bro. Your job has a lot of different, qualities and stuff you have to think about and worry about. One controversial kind of decision and stuff people talk about is rev share. What's kind of your opinion on that and kind of the direction you're heading toward in your mind?
Sure. So it's a part of the House versus NCAA, the settlement for that lawsuit is a 22% rev share, which is calculated based on the average of the A4 conference schools revenue in certain buckets to share that revenue with our student athletes. So for year one, it's $20.5 million per school. But you take off $2.5 million of scholarships if you're going to add more scholarships, because part of the settlement they took away the scholarship limits. So like men's basketball has always been on a full ride, whereas like a sport like baseball might have 40 guys on the team, but the scholarship limit's 11.7. So now we can give more scholarships to all of our sports, all of our Olympic sports, you might say. And so we can share 18 million, but then that grows 4% a year. So it's a more structured, organized way for the athletic department to participate directly in what we've been experiencing for the last 3 years through collectives with NIL.
Okay. So it kind of gets you more of a handle on things. So how does that, sometimes I can see how like the lines can get blurred, especially when there's so many sources out there that say things about, rev shares and what this school is doing, what this school is doing. How do you kind of keep everybody on the same page on what's the truth and what's not, and kind of the direction that we're actually headed towards? I know it can be complicated.
Yeah, it's a challenging environment right now because of the lack of transparency, and there's work going on at the conference level and with all four conferences to create some transparency and same set of rules coming out with this settlement, so that we all have a better understanding of what's happening. I think there's been instances of people taking advantage of the lack of transparency, and I think that's probably, even from a student athlete perspective, it's probably been frustrating at times. I know I've gotten that feedback. So we better days ahead for college sports in terms of better organization. It's the least regulated sport in the world right now. I think we all know that.
Yeah.
We need some lines on the street, maybe a couple stoplights. Just a little bit of direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, something else that goes into that is the talent fee. Could you really explain to us what it really is and how it's affecting athletics right now?
Sure. So with the new scholarships for us at Tennessee, that's about $14 million. The revenue share is another 20 and a half. So it's about a $35 million math problem. And so we're kind of going through how do we tackle this? And some of it is thinking differently about our expenses, what I call budget reallocations, a nicer way of looking at it. Some of it is going to raise more money, and we have great donors, but they can't solve the whole problem for us. And some of it is to ask our huge fan base to participate in some kind of way. And so we were debating it in a conference room upstairs that you guys never go to. It's way too boring for y'all. And just talking about, do we just do price increases? How do we educate our fans why this is important? And we just decided, you know what? Like we just mentioned, let's just be transparent and tell them what it is. This is a new era of college sports, and we have this great big fan base, and it's an asset for us. And so we're going to ask them to help us. It doesn't tackle the whole math problem. It's about a third of it, but we're going to ask them to participate in it with us. And we've gotten very little, if any, pushback at all. Our fans are great. They're incredibly supportive, and I always want to be as transparent as we can with them.
Yeah, it provides a source where they can trust. I think that's been the main thing I mean, from my perspective and just hearing a lot of people's opinions is that they really don't know where to go to on what's the truth and what's not. And I think, like you said, the transparency moving forward, it gives, the fan base to a source that is trusted, and kind of in the mix and working on it every day like you are. So I think that's definitely, something that's going to be headed towards the right direction.
Yeah, we were talking about the assets of the fan base we have, but another asset we've kind of gotten is the Players Era tournament.
Yeah.
We've been booked to that for the next 3 years. Shaq, JJ, sorry guys, but my career will finish up in that tournament.
These guys will be on the blackjack table out in Vegas while you're playing.
I know. I won't be quite old enough to be in the casino with them, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Kind of discuss that tournament, as long as, and with any other, different advantages, we can get with this NIL stuff.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is Coach Barnes and what he's accomplished as a future Hall of Famer. It's not every program that gets an opportunity to do that and be a part of that. And obviously what we've accomplished as a program under his leadership the last several years. But it's a great opportunity for us, awesome competition. It'll be a big-time platform, just the basketball, playing other big brand schools. But as part of that, they're going to invest $1 million a school into name, image, and likeness. So it goes right back into our players, and I think it's a great opportunity for us.
Could you see more of this NIL incentive, whether it's in baseball, bowl games, and could you see this happening in any other sport?
I don't know. I think there's so much we need to learn about what does the future look like, and how do these rules play out. This is a project that was put together in Vegas probably a year ago or so. As the conversation's been going on that long, wouldn't surprise me. But basketball is different in terms of the brand and exposure and the ratings that we can draw for a pretty small roster. That kind of investment doesn't have a huge impact on a football team with 100 players. So it'll depend on how things play out.
We're at the end, nearing the end of this great conversation we've been having today. And question I have, what impresses you the most about this Tennessee team and how we represent the University of Tennessee?
First, I love the fact that I never have to worry about getting a phone call late on a Friday or Saturday night. You guys all handle yourself with class. You represent this university with class. That's been a Rick Barnes staple, certainly in my 4 years here, but I think his whole career. I think we have awesome culture. I love the relationships you guys have with each other. I could see that it's genuine. We have a really positive culture. But the basketball side of me, I like how y'all grind and play hard and defend and lock people up. I think it's fun to watch, and I think that's why we're going to win the national championship this year.
Yes, sir.
Our coach, very charismatic fella. Very
Is he?
A little bit here and there. Very opinionated. Coach. Works hard. has a great resume. Obviously have been around him a lot.
A lot of time.
Yeah. You guys have been around him, just as much. And we all have stories for days. Kind of when we bring guys on, kind of ask them, what is your favorite Coach Barnes story? It can be funny, it can be serious, it can be whatever it is. What is your favorite Coach Barnes story or memory of him?
Favorite Coach Barnes story?
It's tough.
There's so many.
It's so many.
I think it's probably more not one individual one. It's more that he'll tell me the same one
Oh yeah.
3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times.
Oh yeah.
And now I realize he already told it to me. And sometimes it's because I'm in a group with.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe he remembers he told it to me, but not these other 2 people.
Right.
But sometimes I think he doesn't remember that he told me that story.
Oh man, no, yeah. He's something else. Man.
He's got some stories though, and
Oh,
they're
boy.
all funny.
Oh my god.
And even if I'm hearing it the 3rd time, I'm laughing.
No, absolutely, man. He's something. He's something else. He's something else.
This weekend, big game. We all know the implications for what this kind of game is. With the tournament and seeding. We're excited to see what the fan base brings. Like, kind of give us what you're expecting this weekend with how big of a game we got.
I think it would be awesome against any opponent because of the implications of everything you just said. And I think our fans know that, but we are going to remind them a whole bunch starting this evening and leading up to the game. But the fact that it's a rival and with Alabama coming in, I think that building is going to be louder than the Arizona game we talked about
Yes,
earlier.
sir.
I think
They're
it's going to be
not lying.
electric in there. I can't wait. I think it's going to be an awesome college basketball environment.
Man, it's gonna be exciting.
So much fun.
I'm gonna entertain.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to feed into that crowd. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be something.
Something's gonna happen.
Something's gonna happen.
Something's
A play's gonna go down. I'm gonna just feed into the crowd. I mean, you see the way Zakai does it. You see the way I do it. Like, we are just. Sometimes I won't even be really like as hyped, but I'm like, me being hyped is gonna get them hyped.
play it up. You gotta
let me
play
just
it up.
play
You
it
gotta
up a
play
little
it
bit.
up.
Let me play it up a little bit. Show some, emotion, show some personality. But man, I just thinking about it right now is just like, it gets me excited. So it's definitely gonna be a big game, bro. But I know we're all gonna bring our best. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
It'll be awesome. Hydrate up, get some sleep.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
sir. Yes,
Rest
sir.
up.
Yes,
We
sir.
got one last thing that we always do
Always.
with all
Oh, yeah.
of our guests.
Always, we have to do it. You want me to explain it, or you?
Yeah, you got it.
Go ahead.
It's the floor is yours.
So, we kind of did this segment to kind of end all things off. It's nothing to be nervous about.
You guys aren't about to give me a noogie or something.
No. The guy's not here, so no. But so the way we end off, so you're gonna look at the camera, and you're gonna pretend you're talking to a 10-year-old who it may be the future AD of a university like this, aspiring basketball player, whatever the case may be. But he's a 10-year-old looking at you like, man, like, oh my gosh, this is Danny White. Like, man, I'm so excited. Like, oh my gosh. What is the advice you would give him growing up to being a successful, basketball player, AD, coach, whatever the case may be, but being successful in whatever career he decides to be in?
I have a 12-year-old son, so this is an easy
Oh,
one.
this is easy then.
And
This is easy.
his favorite sport is basketball.
Okay, so don't mind us. We're just gonna.
So
We're
what
gonna
I'll
watch.
say is, I got one word for you. It starts with a P and it ends with a practice. Practice, hard work is everything. Whatever you want to do.
That kid just grew up to be the best, whatever he was gonna be. That kid is gonna
awesome.
be amazing, man. But that was awesome,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
That was
That was
awesome.
great. We want to thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
for
you.
having me,
Thank,
guys.
thank you so much
Being
for
here.
coming in. This has been
great.
An
awesome.
exciting one.
No.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, so make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe,
Mm-hmm.
turn on those notifications so you don't miss a beat.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Even better, bro.
Peace
That'll
out,
be
y'all.
better.
Appreciate
See y'all
it.
later.